Hello, mighty companion. This is Earl Purdy, and I want to welcome you to Hardcore. And I do mean hardcore Course in Miracles here on Facebook Live. And we're talking about what is the strength that you can really trust in, that you can always count on to help you through every single thing that causes you any kind of concern or worry. So if you want to get past any type of concern or worry about anything, if you want a new perception of looking at how you can tune in to a higher power, a deeper spiritual connection that's different from anything you ever heard in a way in the past, then this is what we're here for. So this is Earl Purdy. Welcome to Hardcore Course in Miracles here on Facebook Live. And we're going to start out with our theme song so that we can allow ourselves to get centered so that we can hear the guidance that we're going to be receiving from A Course in Miracles. Here we go.
There's a call for a God, I see it everywhere. Everybody's running scared, and everything is turning upside down. But the words I hear, they keep coming through from deep inside of me and you. It's telling us that love is who I am. You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Now let's come together and understand that Christ was born inside of every man. He's ready for us to choose Him as ourselves. When you choose Him, you know you choose me too. And everyone becomes a part of you. And then you will know that love is who I am. You and me were not that far apart. Yeah, we're beating the same heart. We've been together from the start. Tell me, can you hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it and know that we are one. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Oh, we are one. hear it? Tell me, can you feel it? Put your arms around it. Know that we are one. Oh, we are one. Yeah, yeah, we are one. Oh, we are one. I am you, and you are me.
That was Brother John Christmas. If you want to get that music, just go to www.johnchristmas.com. He has a bunch of beautiful music that's based on the teachings of the Course in Miracles. On Earl Purdy, welcome to Facebook Live. Hardcore Course in Miracles. We're going to be working in the Course in Miracles workbook. I'm going to be focusing in on the practical application of the Course in Miracles. How do you apply the Course in Miracles teachings to your everyday reality and the things that you're dealing with in your everyday life? So there are certain guidelines that we need to follow if we want to be able to have the answers and the miracles that we're looking for. So there are guidelines in the Course in Miracles. And I'm going to tell you what those guidelines are. What is the only thing you need to remember? Hey, what's the only thing that you need to remember to get the most out of A Course in Miracles? To get the miracles and healing that you like to have, and the peace and the joy that you like to have in your life right now. You need to remember that you need not believe the ideas, mighty companion. First thing I want you to do is remember that you need not believe these ideas from A Course in Miracles. You need not accept the ideas from A Course in Miracles. You need not even welcome the ideas from A Course in Miracles. You're going to be on lesson 47 in the Course in Miracles workbook. It's page 75 in the workbook of A Course in Miracles, in the blue book, the Foundation for Inner Peace book. You don't have to welcome the ideas. You need not even welcome the ideas in A Course in Miracles. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. Some of the ideas you may actively resist. You may resist some of the ideas that you hear from A Course in Miracles. Some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. Some of the ideas you will find hard to believe. Some of the ideas may startle you. Some of the ideas may startle you. Some of the things that I say may startle you. You are not asked. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. Listen to me. You are not asked to judge the ideas at all. You are not being asked to analyze the ideas at all. You are not being asked to analyze the ideas at all. Their use will give the ideas meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Using these ideas, do you know that you won't know that these ideas are true unless you use the ideas? Their use will give the ideas meaning. Using the ideas in A Course in Miracles will give the ideas in A Course in Miracles meaning to you and will show you that the ideas are true. Using the ideas. And we're going to be on lesson 47 in the workbook. And the name of that lesson is God is the strength. God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. Love is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. God, the higher power, your higher self, the universe, spirit. Love is the strength in which you trust. Say that to yourself. God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength. God is the strength in which I trust. My Creator's strength is the strength in which I trust. I am the divine repetition teacher. In my 42 years of teaching and learning A Course in Miracles, I've seen so many miracles, and I've seen so many people have incredible answers and healings within their own mind, within their own perception, and in their physical experience. I know I have. The Course in Miracles works. It works at the level of the mind. It works at the level of perception. It works at the level of the mind. So, do you know? Let me ask you something right now. Do you feel apprehensive right now about anything? Do you feel anxious about anything that's going on in your life right now? And be honest with yourself. Do you feel fearful about anything that's going on in your life right now? If you do, this is going to be the perfect lesson. This is going to be God, the Creator's answer for you right now. Do you know that you have every reason to be apprehensive? You have every reason to be anxious. You have every reason to be fearful if you are trusting in your own strength. If you're trusting in your strength, then you have every reason to be apprehensive. You have every reason to be anxious. You have every reason to be fearful if you are trusting in your strength. Why is that true? That you have every reason to be apprehensive, anxious, and fearful if you're trusting in your own strength? Well, let me ask you this. What can you predict in your life, really? What can you really control? What is there in your little ego self that you can really count on? What could give you the ability to be aware of all the facets of any problem? What would give you the ability to resolve all the facets of every problem in such a way that only good can come of it? What is there in you that gives you the recognition of the right solution? What is it in you that not only gives you the right solution, but also guarantees that that solution is going to be accomplished? Do you know that of yourself, you can do none of these things? Of yourself, you can't predict what's going to happen to you and everything and everybody around you. You can't always count on your little self to answer every problem and be aware of the answer to every problem in every situation in your life right now. Do you really know how to resolve every problem in every situation in such a way that only good can come of it? Of yourself, you can't do any of those things. So just get clear about that. Of yourself, you can do none of those things. For you to believe that you can resolve everything on your own, that you can predict and control everything that's going to happen, that you understand how you can solve every problem in every way in yourself and in your life and in anybody else's life, and that you can absolutely guarantee that your solution is going to work, Of yourself, you can't do any of those things. And if you believe that you can solve everything on your own and do everything yourself and by yourself, then you're putting your trust. Do you know you're putting your trust where trust is unwarranted? If you're putting all your trust in yourself separate from God, if you're putting all your trust in yourself separate from the higher power, then if you put all your trust in your little personality self, do you know if you put all your trust in your little human self, then you are going to justify your fear, and it's going to justify your anxiety, and it's going to justify your depression. It's going to justify your anger. It's going to justify your sorrow. So if you feel fear, do you know if you feel anxiety? Do you know if you feel depression? Do you know if you feel anger? If you feel sorrow, it's because you think you're the one that's got to solve everything and heal everything and do everything by yourself on your own. So if you have a lot of fear, anxiety, depression, anger, or sorrow, if you feel apprehensive, if you feel anxious, if you feel afraid, then you, my friend, are trusting in you separate from God, the higher power. The Course in Miracles is a spiritual teaching. The Course in Miracles is about teaching you how to remove all the blocks to the awareness of God. It's teaching how to get rid of every block that keeps you from knowing your connection to God. That's what the Course in Miracles is about. It's not another book that's trying to teach you how you can better handle things on your own. It's not a teaching for atheists. It's not a teaching for people who don't want to believe that they have a creator, and for people who don't want to believe there's a divine infinite intelligence that they can call on. The Course in Miracles is about removing the blocks to the awareness of your connection with your creator. So how can you put your faith in weakness, which is the same as saying, how can you put all your faith in your little bitty human self and feel safe? But how can you put your faith in strength, which is the higher power, and feel weak? So I'm going to tell you, would you like to know what your safety is in every circumstance? Right now, you're in a circumstance, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And in that circumstance, you are feeling some fear. In that circumstance that you're in, that I'm talking about, you're feeling some anxiety and some depression, and you might even have some situations up right now that you feel some anger in, and you feel anxious. That's because you're not trusting in the higher power. Your fear and anxiety is letting you know that you think it's all up to you, that you have to do everything on your own, by yourself. There is no such thing as believing that you have a faith in a higher power and you are afraid and anxious and depressed and weary. Sorry, those two things don't go together. Whenever you're feeling fear and anxiety, you're trusting in yourself, separate from God. So God is your safety in every circumstance, that including this circumstance that you're in right now. And there's a voice for God, a voice for your creator. And that voice speaks for your creator in all situations, including the situation that you're in right now. There's a voice for God that speaks for God in every aspect of every situation that you're in. This lesson is for you. This lesson is especially for you. So what is the voice for God? What is the Holy Spirit? What is the Holy Spirit going to tell you? What is the voice for God going to tell you? Well, the voice for God is going to tell you exactly what to do to call on God's strength. The voice for love is going to tell you exactly what to do to call on God's protection. So if you would like to have the protection of your Creator, there's a voice in you called the Holy Spirit, which is the voice for the Creator in you, that's going to tell you exactly what to do in this situation that you're in right now to call on God's protection. So my question is, do you want to call on God's protection? If you feel fear, if you feel anxiety, if you feel depression, you are trusting in you. Do not say you believe in God and you are afraid. Do not say you truly believe in a higher power and you are full of depression and anxiety and you're worried, okay? Just get honest with yourself. It's okay. If you already knew how to have complete faith in the higher power, you wouldn't have any need to be studying A Course in Miracles or listening to what I'm saying. But just stop deceiving yourself. Stop pretending that you have more faith than you actually have. So what do you do? What do you do to call on God's protection? Well, first thing that the Course in Miracles says is there are no exceptions because God has no exceptions. So there is no situation in your life that God cannot heal, protect you in, and give you God's strength in. So whatever the situation is that's causing you any kind of frustration or anxiety, God has no exceptions. Love is the same as God. So love has no exceptions. And there's a voice for God that speaks for God that thinks the way God thinks. So what are we going to do right now? We are going to try to reach past your own weakness. What are we going to do? We are going to reach past your weakness. It's time to go past your weakness. It's time to go past your weakness to the source of real strength. It's time for you to get in touch with what causes real strength, your real strength. We've got to reach past your ego. Do you know that's the same as saying we need to reach past your weakness to the source of real strength? So what I want you to do right now, if you are somewhere that you can safely do this, the Thursday night hardcore Course in Miracles is about the application of these ideas. So I want you to, if you can, I want you to close your eyes. 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 Okay, listen to me. Close your eyes, and I want you to repeat the idea for today. I want you to repeat the idea for today. What is the idea for today? The idea is God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. Love is the strength in which I trust. Love is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength. God is the strength in which you trust. So have you said that to yourself? Okay, say it to yourself right now. God is the strength in which I trust. My Creator is the strength in which I trust. Next, with your eyes still closed, if you're somewhere where you can close your eyes, I want you to search for situations in your life which you have invested with fear. I want you to search for situations in your life that you have fear about. I want you to think about the things that you are worrying about. I want you to think about the things that are giving you some type of anxiety. It would be great to pick one or two things rather than trying to think of a lot of things. Now, for instance, if you have a lot of concerns about money right now, which means you're trusting in yourself to come up with the money, not God. You're not trusting your creator to provide you with the things that you need. The Course in Miracles says that spirit is aware that we think we need money. So I want you to, as an example, and this can be in a situation, anything that you are experiencing fear and anxiety about. I want you to dismiss each thing. Once you think of what you're worried about, then you would dismiss it by telling yourself, God is the strength in which I trust. In other words, okay, let me give you an example. Let's say that I'm concerned about money or how I'm going to pay my bills. Then, okay, I'm doing that. I got some concern. Let's say I have that concern. Then I go, God is the strength in which I trust. I'm worried about my health, but God is the strength in which I trust. I'm concerned about some things that are happening on my job right now. God is the strength in which I trust. I'm having a challenge with my partner right now in my relationship. God is the strength in which I trust. I'm concerned about climate change. God is the strength in which I trust. I'm concerned about whatever the thing you think you're concerned about. Admit it to yourself, but don't forget to say, and God is the strength in which I trust. So I want you to do something else. What else are we being asked to do? Now try to slip past all concerns related to your own sense of inadequacy. So what is your sense of inadequacy? Well, the Course in Miracles says, it is obvious that any situation that causes you concern is associated with what? Any situation that you're concerned about is associated with feelings of inadequacy. The reason why you're concerned about whatever you're concerned about is that you feel inadequate to handle that situation. Feelings of concern are connected to feeling inadequate. So it's obvious that any situation that causes you concern is associated with feelings of inadequacy, for otherwise you would believe you could deal with the situation successfully. If you really believe that you could deal with the situation that you're worried about, if you really believe you could handle the situation successfully that you're concerned about, then you would not feel inadequate. You would not feel afraid. You would not feel anxious. You would not feel anxiety. So what is that telling you? The Course in Miracles says, and this is a very powerful sentence. What is that next sentence? It says, it is not by trusting yourself that you will gain confidence. You are not going to gain confidence by trusting yourself. You're not going to gain confidence by trusting yourself. I know that there are a lot of things that teach you that you're going to gain a lot of confidence by trusting yourself. A Course in Miracles says you are not going to gain confidence by trusting yourself. You're not going to get rid of your fear and anxiety and worry and depression by trusting your little self, your little ego self, that little self that thinks it's a human being that's on its own trying to make it in the world. It is not by trusting yourself that you will gain confidence. But what will make you successful? What is it that will make you successful in all things? The strength of God, the strength of your Creator, that's what will make you successful in handling this thing that you're concerned about, the thing that you're worried about. You know what that is, and you know if you will be honest with yourself, you do have something that you have some concern or worry about. So, what is it that makes you successful in all things? The strength of love, the strength of your Creator. Some people have a big hang up with the word God. Do you know that there's only one thing that I want to say to you about that? Get over it. What? Get over it. It's just a word. And what upsets you, if you get upset with the word God or you have resistance to the word God, do you know that you are only having that resistance based on the programming and the past experiences and learnings that you've had around the word God? But when the Course says God, it's talking about the Creator, the prime Creator, that which created you, the love that created you, the universe, spirit. And God, according to the Course, is not a body. And God does not punish. And God does not condemn. God is only unconditional love and strength and power that you can call on. There's a part of God. There's a part of the unlimited power and creator of the universe. There's a part of that that is in you, that is you, that's there to protect you, that that strength you can call on. But if you're trusting in yourself, you'll never get over your fear. You'll never get over that anxiety because you have a very limited perception of what you are if you think you are a body and you think you are just a person out here trying to deal with everything on your own. So would you like to have your mistakes corrected? Would you like to have your errors corrected? Well, how do you have your errors corrected? Well, the Course in Miracles says it's actually a necessary step in the correction of your errors, your fears, your anxieties, your lack, your sickness, your upset, your loneliness, whatever you're concerned about. The necessary step in correction is for you to recognize your own frailty. The recognition of your own frailty is a necessary step in the correction of your mistakes. So if you have a mistake, if you have a fear, if you have a guilt, if you have an anxiety, and you need to get past it, you need to recognize that it's not through trusting in your own strength that your mistakes are going to be corrected. It's not going to be by trusting in you separate from God that you are going to get your fears alleviated. The Course in Miracles is just being, very straight up with us. It's like saying, look, I just need to tell you something. You're afraid because you're trusting in your own strength and you're not trusting in your Creator. You're trusting in you too much. That's why it seems like things are not being solved in your life right now because you can't do it on your own. You can't do it by yourself. It's your ego that tells you that you can do it all by yourself. But if you want to be successful, you have to trust in the strength of God. You have to trust in the strength of love. So you need to recognize your own frailty. What do you know? You need to recognize your own frailty as a necessary step in the correction of your own mistakes. But recognizing your frailty is hardly a sufficient step in giving you the confidence that you need, right? Because if I'm recognizing how frail I am, that certainly doesn't make me feel really, really confident. And you need confidence. You are entitled to confidence. You are entitled to confidence. You need confidence. So what is it that you need to gain an awareness of? You need to gain an awareness that confidence in your real strength is fully justified. So for you to have confidence in the strength of God, that's fully justified. For you to have confidence in the strength of spirit, is fully justified. For you to have confidence in love is fully justified. For you to have confidence in your Creator is fully justified. For you to have confidence in God is fully justified in every respect, in all circumstances, including the circumstance that you see yourself in right now, that you have some anxiety, fear, or depression about. So what are we going to do right now? We're going to try to reach down. We're going to try to reach down into your mind. We are going to try to reach down into your mind to a place of real safety. So we're going to go deep inside your thinking right now to a place of real safety. And I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that you've taken the time to listen and to tune in to this Course in Miracles presentation. Mighty companion, I am here for you. I'm here to be a reminder that you are not alone. You're just trusting in yourself separate from God. It's time for you to let go of your atheism. And the Course in Miracles defines atheism as believing that you are self-sufficient, autonomous, and on your own. Being an atheist doesn't mean I don't believe in God or I don't believe in a God. From a Course in Miracles perspective, being an atheist means you think you're on your own, separate, autonomous, and self-sufficient. That's an atheist. Because you don't do anything alone. So we're going to try to reach down into your mind. And we're going to try to reach a place of real safety. You will recognize that you reached this place of real safety. How can you tell when you have reached this place of real safety? You can tell when you reach this place of real safety because you will feel a deep sense of peace. When you feel a really deep sense of peace, that's how you know that's how you recognize that you have reached this place of real safety. Even if it's just briefly. So take a breath, close your eyes. If you're in a place where you can do it, let yourself, don't analyze. Let go of your wisdom for a minute. We don't need to hear your wisdom. We don't need to hear your wisdom. But we do need to hear what we're being told right now. We do need to take this opportunity together to reinforce what the Course is saying right now. Okay? So the Course is saying right now that we can reach down into our mind to a place of real safety. And then you'll know when you have reached that place of real safety. How will you know? Because you will feel a deep sense of peace, even if it's just briefly. So what is it that the Course in Miracles is asking us to do? It's asking us to let go all the trivial things that churn and bubble on the surface of your mind. Let go of all those thoughts that are churning and bubbling on the surface of your mind. I want you to reach down below all your ego thoughts, all your fear thoughts, all your worldly thoughts, all your weary thoughts, all your wise thoughts, and reach down and below your thinking to the kingdom of heaven, which the Course describes as the kingdom of love, to where the love is, where the joy is, where the truth is, deep inside of you. Keep your eyes closed. Breathe, breathe. There's a place in you where there is perfect peace. Do you know there's a place in you where there is complete peace? There's a place inside of you that is complete peace and has complete peace. There is a place in you where there is perfect peace. Are you aware that there is a place in you where nothing is impossible? There's a place in you where everything is possible. There's a place in you where anything is possible. There is a place inside you where nothing is impossible. What does that mean, that there's a place inside you where nothing is impossible? There's a place in you where the strength of God abides. There's a place in you where God's strength lives. There's a place in you where the strength of the universe, spirit, light, love abides. So during the day, during this evening, repeat this idea. That's why I say I am the divine repetition teacher, the divine repetition, the divine repetition teacher, your remembering coach. Notice the next line. Repeat the idea often. Repeat the idea often. Did it say analyze the idea often? Did it say judge the idea often? Did it say give your interpretation of what everything is meaning often? No. What the Course in Miracles just said was repeat the idea, God is the strength. God is the strength in which I trust. The strength I trust in is God. God is the strength in which I trust is God. The strength in which I trust is God. The strength in which you trust is God. God is the strength in which you trust. God is the strength in which I trust. Love is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which you trust. So what should you do whenever there is any disturbance? Whenever you are experiencing any kind of disturbance, what is the answer to any kind of disturbance? And you know the disturbance that I'm talking about. You have your own personal disturbance, and you know what I'm talking about. Use this idea as your answer to any disturbance. Use what idea? God is the strength in which I trust. Now, don't forget that I said earlier that the Course in Miracles says, remember only this. You need not believe the idea, God is the strength in which you trust. You need not accept the idea that God is the strength in which you trust. You need not even welcome the idea that God is the strength in which you trust. You may even actively resist what? The idea that God is the strength in which you trust. You may find it hard to believe that God is the strength in which you can trust. It may be startling to you, the whole idea that God is the strength in which you trust. But you are not being asked to judge that idea that God is the strength in which you trust at all. If you use the idea, remember that we were told earlier, search your mind for the thing that you're upset about or worried about or you have some kind of anxiety about. Then, right after you do that, then say, God is the strength in which I trust. So you're not repressing your feelings. Nobody's asking you to try to be positive. You're being asked to be honest about your feelings and what you're going through right now. There's nobody to impress with trying to be more positive when you know you're afraid. So what do? You search your mind, which we do all day. Think about the thing that you wish were different or that you're concerned about or that you're worried about. And then you say, no matter how you feel about it, say, God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. I think I'm concerned about this or that, but God is the strength in which I trust. I think I'm worried about this or that, but God is the strength in which I trust. What is it that you need to remember? What is it that you need to remember? You need to remember that peace is your right. You have a right to peace. You have a right to be peaceful. The Course in Miracles defines peace as total fulfillment. Peace means total fulfillment. So you have a right to total fulfillment. Remember that. Notice that I said you have a right. Peace is your right. Peace is your right. Peace is your right. Why is peace your right? Why is peace your right? Because you are giving your trust to the strength of God. Peace is your right. Peace is my right. Say that to yourself with your eyes closed. Peace is my right. Peace is my right. Peace is my right. Because I am giving my trust to the strength of God. You deserve peace because you are giving your trust to the strength of God. You're giving your trust to the strength of God. Give your trust to the strength of God. Give your trust to the strength of God. Give your trust to the strength of God. Stop being an atheist. Stop thinking that you're on your own, that you know it all, and that you got to figure it out and do it. Give your trust to the strength of God. God is the strength in which you trust. Give your trust to the strength of God. God is the strength in which you trust. God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which you trust. God is the strength in which you, God is the strength. God is the strength in which you trust. Peace is your right. So I'm going to do a quick recap in a minute. I want you to take a breath right now. I'm a full-time teacher of A Course in Miracles. It's my function on the planet. And I trust that those who can and willing and are able to will allow themselves to be a channel of financial support and appreciation. If you'd like to make a financial expression of appreciation, go to my website, www.earlpurdy.com, P-U-R-D-Y. You can also use Venmo, the Cash App, PayPal, Zelle. All you need is my email address, earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com, earlpurdy@earlpurdy.com. I'm available for one-on-one coaching, counseling, mentoring sessions. So I can take my 40 years of experience with working with people and my 40 plus years of experience of teaching and sharing the course and helping people apply it to your personal situation and circumstance. It's called a clarity session. If you like to have a clarity session with me, or if you like to find out more about it, go to my website, Earl Purdy, www.earlpurdy.com. You can book a session with me online, right from my website. Those of you who are open and receptive to it, I'm also a professional astrologer and numerologist. And you could also book that type of session with me. On Sundays at 1 o'clock p.m. on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook, Mountain Time, 1 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook, I do another Facebook Live A Course in Miracles class. online. If you're in the Denver, Colorado area, you can attend the class in person. I do the class at 1555 Race Street, RACE, 1555 Race Street. You're welcome to attend live, and I'll also be broadcasting it online. So you can watch it online on the Earl Purdy page. Thursdays at 7 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time, only online, I do another Facebook Live, the one you're watching right now. It's called Hardcore Course in Miracles. 7 p.m. Mountain Time on the Earl Purdy page on Facebook. I'm here only to be truly helpful. I'm here only to represent God who sent me. I don't have to worry about what to say or what to do because Spirit that sent me will direct me. I will be healed as I let Spirit teach me to heal. So let's do a quick review. Here we go. I want you to close your eyes if you're somewhere where you can close your eyes. And I want you to really think about what I'm saying. I really appreciate you all's generosity. The Holy Spirit said I would be given what I need to stay and to do my teaching ministry. And those of you who are willing to be channels for that, because you feel like you are receiving something helpful and valuable through me, thank you for showing your appreciation in a way that allows me to also take care of my life in this plane, just like you do every day to allow yourself to be taken care of in this plane. So thank you for your generosity. Thank you for seeing value in what I share. God is the strength. So say this to yourself. God is the strength in which I trust. 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 God is the strength in which you trust. God is the strength in which you trust. God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. If you're trusting in your own strength, you got every reason to be afraid and weary. Because you really can't predict or control anything. There's no way that you can be aware of all the facets of any problem and resolve it in a way that only good can come of it for everybody. You can't do any of that of yourself. So to believe that you can solve anything by yourself without the higher power is going to make you feel fear, anxiety, depression, anger, and sorrow. Because you're putting your faith in weakness when you put your faith only in your little human self. You are an unlimited spiritual being, but you've forgotten that. And now you think you're a person that's out here in the world trying to take care of yourself on your own. So that means you're putting your faith in weakness. But do you know, if you put your faith in strength, which is your creator, you couldn't possibly feel weak. So listen to this. God is your safety in every circumstance. And God has a voice that speaks for God in all situations and in every aspect of all situations. There's an inner voice. There's an inner voice that will tell you exactly what to do to call upon God's strength and God's protection, and that is in A Course in Miracles. The Course in Miracles deserves your attention and your study, because for some people it is the voice for God telling them exactly what to do to call on God's protection. And there are no exceptions, which means that you are included also. There's a voice that speaks for God. There's a voice that speaks for your creator. There's a voice that speaks for love and truth. So we're going to try to reach past your weakness. We are going to tap into your real strength. So whenever you're worried about something, it's okay to be honest with yourself about whatever it is that you see as a challenge for you right now. But as soon as you tell yourself what that fear or concern is, right behind that you say, God is the strength in which I trust. So it's okay for you to search for situations in your life that you've invested with fear. But every situation that you have invested with fear or worry After you think about that thing that you may be concerned about, don't forget what? Don't forget to tell yourself, God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. The Creator is the strength in which I trust. Love is the strength in which I trust. All that is the strength in which I trust. Love is the strength in which I trust. Freedom is the strength in which I trust. All of those are words for God. Then you try to slip past all your concerns, because all your concerns are related to your own sense of inadequacy. You know it's related to your own sense of inadequacy, or you would believe you could deal with the situation successfully and you wouldn't be concerned about it or worried about it. You won't gain confidence by trusting in your ego. It's not by trusting in your ego that you're going to gain confidence. Are you aware that it's the strength of God? It's the strength of God in you that's successful in everything. But recognizing that you are frail on your own, that's a necessary step to correcting your mistakes. But it's okay to have confidence in your real strength. And your real strength is the divine in you. Your real strength is God in you. And confidence in the God in you and the God around you, that's justified in every respect and in all circumstances. Try to reach down. Try to reach down into a place of real safety. You'll know when you have really tapped into your connection with God, because when you've tapped into your connection with God, you will feel a deep sense of peace, a deep sense of peace, a deep sense of peace. So I want you to let go of all the trivial things that's churning and bubbling on the surface of your mind. Reach down below the things that you're concerned about. Reach down beneath the things that cause you worry and anxiety and depression. Go to the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of love, the kingdom of reality that is within yourself. There is a place in you where there is perfect peace. There is a place in you where there is total fulfillment. There is a place in you where nothing is impossible. There's a place in you where nothing is impossible. Tell yourself, there's a place in me where nothing is impossible. There's a place in me where nothing is impossible. There's a place in me where nothing is impossible. There's a place in me where nothing is impossible. Do you know there's a place in you where the strength of God abides? There's a place in you where the strength of God abides. There's a place in me where the strength of God abides. There's a place in me where the strength of God abides. There's a place in me where the strength of God abides. There's a place in me where the strength of God abides. Repeat this idea often. God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. Don't forget to watch this and listen to this at least 4 times. Use God is the strength in which I trust as your answer to any disturbance. So what is your answer to any disturbance? God is the strength in which I trust. 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 I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. I'm concerned about this. I'm concerned about them. I'm concerned about them. God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which I trust. Remember, what is it that you need to remember? You need to remember. You need to remember that peace is your right. Peace is your right because you're giving your trust to the strength of God. Lesson 47 in A Course in Miracles workbook. Thank you for joining me on the goal of having the sanity to recognize that we can't do this on our own and you can't do it on your own. That you need to tune into a higher power, and that the Course in Miracles is teaching you how to remove the blocks in your own mind to letting that higher power help you. Wouldn't you like to be under the protection of a higher power, a greater power, a loving power? There's a way to do that, and A Course in Miracles is the way to do that. But don't you know it does take commitment? It does take giving it attention and giving it study. you have a greater teacher, an inner teacher that you can call on. You all are beautiful. You're innocent. God is the strength in which we trust. Mighty companions, God is the strength in which I trust. God is the strength in which we trust. God is the strength in which we trust. Mighty companion, may the course be with you. God bless you.